TT Season 4. Just had to restart that because the Windows update had changed all the settings in OBS for no apparent reason. Anyway, thank you for being here when you are here. Just got to throw some... Do the thing, saying the thing is happening in the thing. Profile. Ah! Broke the fucking link. Jesus Christ. How annoying. Right. iOS should not spell check links. And it's done it again. And it's fucking done it again. Jesus Christ. So annoying. There, done it. Excellent. Hey, Chronotherm, how's it going? You just missed me absolutely losing my shit on stream at iOS consistently breaking the link. I am feeling somewhat grumpy, yes, but do not worry. I am not having problems with spelling. The iOS was having problems with auto-correcting my link. Right, now, let's do this. My comrades and associates, right? We are going to start. We're starting today's show with it's a magazine special. I have been promising a magazine special for a couple of weeks now, and finally it has arrived. Today's magazine special is Mojo magazine, which used to be, of course, the sister magazine of Q, where I worked for a while. Q, now long departed, but replaced by the new Q, which is a Substack email version of it, which is actually pretty good, and it's one of the few Substacks I personally subscribe to in order to try and keep that going. Anyway, I have got I can now get that up. Get critical support for Boris Johnson, his campaign to kill all Brits. Thank you, Comrade Wolfie. Guybrush tweet, good afternoon. How are you doing? Thanks, Terrorites. Your first time back on the stream with me in the new haircut mode. Appreciate the compliment. There was a lot of well-humoured mockery of my hair when I first debuted it last week. Right, here we go. It's going to do that thing. Why does it always do that thing? God damn it. Why does it always do that thing? Okay, transform. Rotate 90 degrees clockwise. Bosh. Join us in the haircut zone, Mr. Chapo. Talking about haircuts, here is Paul Weller looking like one of your nan's friends. Hey, Industrial Pet, how you doing? Good to see you. Right, so here we are with the magazine special today. We're taking a... thank you, McHugh Show, for subscribing again. Really appreciate that. I do know how to rotate PDF. Unfortunately, OBS likes to do these random things. Right, so we're looking at Mojo today. Yeah, so here is Paul Weller looking, looking like someone's nan. Also promised on the cover, Crosby, Stills and Nash. A look back at their album Deja Vu. Go back to Deja Vu. St. Vincent is interviewed and says, I was feral. Paul McCartney, Come On Man, We Were Hippies. Funkadelic, Maggot Brain, their album at 50. My Bloody Valentine, I've not finished with Loveless, says Kevin Shields. The Coral, described as Seaside Psych Survivors. And a farewell to Bunny Wailer, who passed away. Isn't Paul Weller a dour lead petrol added boomer? A lot of people say well, I know people who've met him who said he's actually really pleasant, and he did have the right kind of politics in the 80s anyway. So I don't know. I used to really hate the Style Council, but I've come to them as is Loveless the new Tubular Bells? In what respect? Critical support for being feral, uncritical support for being feral, says Slinkermeyer. Yeah. Industrial Pet. A pal of mine said I had Paul Weller hair the other day, and it's so hard for me to see that cover without recoiling. Presumably they mean like old Weller hair, like the actually quite good-looking Weller hair. Anyway, there's a CD of 15 tracks hand-picked by Weller. Includes The Beautiful Junkyards, Marvin Powell, Stone Foundation, The Third Ear Band, Teenage Waitress, and a band called The Stroppies. Big up the Coral. I'm a big fan of the Coral, and they really only get better. Your boy said he wasn't finished with Loveless, like the bloke kept going back to Tubular Bells. Yeah, I mean, Kevin Shields has been doing that, saying that forever though. He's not great at letting albums be done. Anyway, right, moving inside. Big advert for new Who reissue. Honestly, who wants 14 unheard Pete Townsend demos, an 80-page book with new liner notes, 5 CDs and 2 7-inch vinyl singles, rare inserts, memorabilia, etc. Do you know what I want? I want to see that book that he kept promising us. On the contents page, we've got a picture of George Clinton saying hello to a donkey, which is pretty excellent. Hey, Dawn Treader, thank you. Yeah, okay, so the editor's letter, I believe, comes from Weller himself, yes. And he bigs up the art director, Wags, who is actually a really nice bloke, so, you know, supporting the workers, well done, Paul Weller. In the All Back to My Place section, which is a section I appreciate, they've got Sharon Van Etten, Jody Greep of Black Midi, for some reason represented in cartoon form, Paul Stanley of Kiss, no thanks. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. In what goes on? Time and Grace, there's a Jeff Buckley biopic coming out. Nice picture of Jeff being Jeff there. Not the great... I mean, design-wise, I think that the front section of Mojo has got a bit stale. It's looked like this for a very long time. Bobby Gillespie and Jenny Beth have partnered up for Deep Soul Heartache on Utopian Ashes. I think she could do better. We're promised a new Manic Street Preachers record, which will explore internal galaxies on a Roxy-esque album. Manic Street Preachers doing Roxy music? Do we want that? Maybe? I don't know. Moving on, in the Cult Heroes section, they talk to transgender punk pioneer Jane County of Jane County and the Electric Chairs. I love their song Fuck Off, aka If You Don't Want to Fuck Me Baby, Fuck Off. Great picture of her there. Didn't Manic Street Preachers kill people in Wales last April? No, was that not Stereophonics? I think that was Stereophonics. In Rock and Roll Confidential, they've got an interview with Peggy Seeger. They talk to Paul McCartney about his remix album, which is pretty good. The remix album of McCartney 3. There's a big ad for Why Now Radio, the online station for specialist art and culture. Never heard of it. Maybe it's good. In Mojo Rising, they recommend Declan O'Rourke, master storyteller and overnight sensation. At last, he's a Weller pick. They've done this thing where Weller's had his hands on it. There's a little Weller roundel. Conway Wolfie, if I was the Manics, I would make fewer records and concentrate on finding the missing band member. And the other band picked by Weller is The Mysteries. No, The Mysterines. The Mysterines, what are they like? I don't know. Apparently they're for fans of Queen of the Stone Age, PJ Harvey, Arctic Monkeys, and Screaming Trees. They look like they could come from any period in the past 40 years. That could be a good thing. I'll give them a go. The big Mojo interview is with St. Vincent, who's gone blonde. That's a good photo. Again, the design thing, it's decent and it's clean, but Mojo hasn't had a refresh in a while, and I think it should have one. Anyway, good long interview with St. Vincent. Another good photo there. In Mojo Presents, they talk to Mojo-kay, which are like a desert blues band. He is a desert blues guy. He has got band members. Yeah. I've listened to some of his stuff and I liked it. They're from Niger and they look pretty badass. That photo looks like something from an 80s hairdresser's window of that previous band. Yeah, it does a bit. People that they look through his lineage of other bands or artists that you might like if you like Mojo-kay, Ali Farka Touré, Tinariwen, sorry, I don't know why I said it like that. I said it wrong. Tinariwen, Group Douai, Group Iniraren, Bombino. Yeah, I don't know. His cover, his album covers look fucking great. St. Vincent's gimmick currently is to be very 70s. Yeah, that they are very 70s, 80s looking pictures. I like them. Here's Weller again. Weller needs to sort his hair out. The hair at this, he's Diabate, Tumani Diabate. Yes. What am I doing? Anyway, yeah, Weller needs to sort his hair out. Big picture of him with loads of other Mojos. For the Hard Way, Crosby, Stills, and Nash are interviewed by Sylvie Simmons, who is a great writer. What a ridiculous picture of them all dressed up as cowboys back in the day. Bands are like marriages, says David Crosby, and human beings' lives do not go on parallel paths. It's the kind of quotes you get from a man who has been perpetually stoned for about 50 years. Stephen Still says, making Deja Vu was like herding cats in a pinball machine. At odd times, it results in nuclear fission. Love a mixed metaphor. The coral do not look as cool as I sort of want them to in my head, but still pretty cool. Did St. Vincent do something bad? I keep seeing bits and pieces of discourse around here. Not that I'm aware of, but maybe I've missed out on that. Anyway, this interview done by Andrew Mail, who's well worth following on Twitter and is a good guy. And what's the headline? Worse things happen at sea. Well, I like that. These decent photos, but I mean, layout, they could try a bit harder with the layout. And they've got a little sidebar where Paul Weller talks about the Coral and other acts on James Skelly's Skeleton Key label that he likes. It's fine, whatever. I mean, they've said that Weller is editing this. I mean, guest editor thing's ridiculous. You have one meeting with them and you say, what stuff do you want us to put in that are you interested in? And he or she goes, yeah, this. And then you just fucking make it. I always love when they have guest editors in at tabloids and you like have a picture of like, say, Russell Brand like staring at a page proof. Fucking ridiculous. Free Your Ass is the headline on their retrospective of Funkadelic's Maggot Brain. Another excellent picture of Funkadelic with a donkey. It says, Funkadelic, their ass following, just banned from Royal Albert Hall, London, May 4th, 1971. The donkey's name was Fluff. Oh no, now I know how the sausage is made. Sorry about that, Comrade Wolfie. Anyway, Maggot Brain is an amazing album, and it has one of the best covers of all time. Funkadelic, just, yeah, look, here's another fucking amazing picture of Funkadelic, with just, one of them's dressed as like a Nelson era, well, Revolutionary War soldier. You've got a German First World War Bismarck style helmet in there. Another one dressed as a stereotypical convict. One just shirtless. Skills. Anyway, great pictures. Love Funkadelic. Amazing that George Clinton is still alive. And another incredible picture. Look at this. This is just well worth it for the pictures. Just them with a pig for some reason, just hanging out with a pig. Anyway, if you've never listened to Funkadelic, get on it. Bill Smith designed the Jam's record sleeves from In the City to Absolute Beginners with the aid of some bathroom tiles and a dog called Max. It was an awful lot of fun, he tells Danny Eccleston. Good background, sort of behind the scenes picture of him putting together the background for that first cover. I like stuff like that. Anyway, that's to promote Cover Stories, the album art of Bill Smith, 1977 to 2019, which is out on from Red Planet Books today at £25. This is sort of the most stereotypical picture of My Bloody Valentine you can get, of Sound Mind. 30 years since its rippling vistas redefined rock sonics. That's pretty cliche. My Bloody Valentine's obsessive-in-chief has remastered Loveless again. Yet in his oddball world, this is progress. And there's new music too, if he can let go of it. I know less about what I'm finishing now than I did 2 years ago, he warns Keith Cameron. Yeah, and there's a little sidebar about the fact that Weller got Kevin Shields to play on Wake Up the Nation back in 2010. This is a bit of a boring layout for me. I could try harder on the layouts. That's my main issue with this. Actually, the content is decent. More chances to see Weller's wayward hairdo. Paid the cost to be the boss. Dealt COVID lemons. Mojo's guest editor has been busy making Lemonade, an album of 12 singles full of spunk and soul. I don't want an album full of spunk. How do you hoover it out? But productivity has its shadow side. When you hear time's clock click ever louder and you can't tour till 2022. I'll be 64 that year, Paul Weller reminds Ted Kessler. It's a funny old age to go back on the road. Ted was the ex-editor of Q, and I worked with him for a bit, and he's all right. Bit of a mod. Hashtag calm discourse. No, thank you. Music's forever giving. It cuts through all cultures. It's information, education, entertainment. Yeah, all right. I don't. Weller's a bit boring. Vinyl does not play well when filled with semen. Agreed, Yu-Gi-Oh! Albums full of spunk is something I expect to hear from a eugenicist. Yeah, so, you know. Another thing about Paul Weller. 50 years ago, Paul McCartney said, "Ta-ra to the Beatles and hello to Ram, the eccentric, tune-packed solo album that may still be his best." It's not his best, I don't think. I like the McCartney trio. McCartney 1, 2, and 3, I think are his best, but there you go. Those quotes are so bland. Yeah, I know. It's just you think after so many years he'd know how to give good quote, and sometimes he can. I think it's because he doesn't drink as much anymore. Anyway, that photo from the Ram period was taken by Paul McCartney. I kind of love it. I tried to avoid any Beatles cliches. I suppose I was just letting myself be free, says McCartney. It's a fucking cool shot of McCartney. Paul McCartney's the worst Beatle after Lennon, who deservedly got shot, says Comrade Wolfie. I don't think he's the worst Beatle, to be honest. Another chance for Paul Weller to have his say with a sidebar. Paul on Paul. All too much Paul Weller in this. I know it's a Paul Weller guest edited issue, but nonetheless. Yeah. So Tony Joe White is their main album review. It says the Black Keys' Dan Auerbach has transformed a handful of the Swamp King's demos into a full studio album. Can you make a polk salad out of scraps? Asked Andrew Mail. I love the illustration. I do love the illustration. Teenage Fan Club get a good review, 4 stars for their new record Endless Arcade. As does Sons of Kemet, 4 stars for Black to the Future. Rag and Bone Man gets 4 stars for Life by Misadventure. St. Vincent gets 4 stars for her new record Daddy's Home. It tends to be, if they're on the cover, they're going to have got 4 stars. Yeah, agreed, Terrorites. That's a really good illustration, the Swamp Thing illustration. Bills and Aches and Blues, various, a self-starting 41st anniversary celebration of 4AD, gets 4 stars. They say there's a strong showing for Grimes, Deer Hunter, and the Breeders. So, okay, the concept is simple. 4AD's current roster cover tracks from the label's past. So you've got US Girls covering The Birthday Party, Decay Maidza doing a version of the Pixies' Where Is My Mind. The Breeders covered by Tuneyard's Big Thief and Bradford Cox. That sounds decent. Sons of Kemet records sounding pretty great from the teasers, to be fair. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Squid, described as a post-punk krautrock collision by Andrew Perry, get 4 stars. I'm not listening to them, but that makes me want to. Balmoria, the Texas-based duo, get 4 stars for their 8th LP, The Wind. New Black Keys record gets 4 stars. Natalie Bergman's record Mercy also gets 4 stars. I'm just telling you the 4 stars ones. Inevitably, Mojo likes the Renegade podcast with Bruce Springsteen and Barack Obama. It would, wouldn't it? Because, you know, it is the most centrist dad possible formation of a podcast you could get. Spiritualized reissue of Laser Guided Melodies is an amazing record, and the reissue gets 4 stars. What's that? Well, I'm only reading the 4 stars out. Get on Board the Soul Train, the sound of Philadelphia International Records, Volume 1, gets 4 stars. I want to get that on vinyl. The Nightingales, Pig on Purpose, gets reissued, which is their debut. That's reissued, obviously, in the wake of Stuart Lee's film, King Rocker, about Robert Lloyd. It's good. I like the Nightingales. There's a reissue of John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band. They give that 5 stars because it's very luxurious reissue. The Who's Sell Out Super Deluxe Edition also gets 5 stars. Is it a surprise? This is well in Mojo's wheelhouse. Lewis Wilson writes a really good, I really enjoyed this, rundown of the best releases from Ghostbox, the kind of the hauntological label. Belbury Polly, Beautiful Junkyards, the Belbury Circle, like Pie Corner Audio. That, like, if you're into hauntological type music, get involved. It is good. It is good. Next month, they're going to give you a stiff top 10. Big fan of Squid. Okay, I haven't checked it. Pigs on Purpose, what an album. Agreed, Dan Jones. Squid's the Cleaner has been heavy rotation for me. Says, where is that? I see the reply, but... Yes, I'm sorry to tell you, Prince Philip has died. Chronosome says, Squid's the Cleaner has been heavy rotation for me for a while now. I need to check them out properly. Anyway, Ghostbox, brilliant. Essentially, for me, if an album comes out on Ghostbox, I'm probably going to like it. They drag this month's Buried Treasure is Third Ear Band's music from Macbeth. I'm not familiar with it, but I'll check that out. and a documentary they recommend based on Susanna Clark's journals and the stuff that's real without getting killed or caught, which is about her husband, Guy Clark, who wrote many good songs. Creation Stories, the film about creation, only gets 3 stars. Deservedly, it's not a great film. The documentary about polystyrene, which you can see on Sky Arts, Polystyrene, I Am Cliche, is good. From what I've seen of it, I want to see more. That's 4 stars. I've seen about 20 minutes of that film. I love the Prince Philip bit. They review 3 new books about the Fall. Excavate the Wonderful and Frightening World of the Fall, edited by Tessa Norton and Bob Stanley. I have that book. It's good, but it's very dense. It's kind of a load of different essays. The Otherwise, Mark E. Smith and Graham Duff from Strange Attractor. What is The Otherwise? I've not seen this book yet. It's Smith's 2015 script for a Fall-starring horror film. The Otherwise suffers from no such mitigation. With echoes of undead biker flick Psychomania, it finds Marky Smith depicting himself as a spook but composed when Jacobite ghosts appear. A touching foreword by Smith's wife, Elena, reveals his refreshingly broad television habits. He enjoyed Eurovision, Keeping Up Appearances. And the last book is Slang King. Marky Smith on stage, 1977 to 2013. It's a collection of stuff that he said on stage. I'm not sure I'm desperate for that one. Is this the same Mojo as Watch Mojo? No, it's not. Watch Mojo is a much more recent YouTube thing. Hey up, Studying Fangirl, how are you doing? Good to see you. Top 10 Mojo articles about Paul Weller, yeah. They've got a good obituary by Ian Harrison of Bunny Wailer, and what a picture of Bunny Wailer. Also, look at the picture of them when they were young is immense as well. Also in the obits, Chris Barber, the trombonist, James Burke, singer, guitarist, Don Heffington, roots rock drummer, Dan Sartain, garage rock outsider, Bruce Hawes, the Philly maestro, and Malcolm Cecil, the synth wizard. Look at that picture. Look at the bank of synths he's got there. Right, we're nearly at the end of Mojo here. In the time machine, they go back to write about the launch of the Virgin label, which launched with, as mentioned earlier in this stream, Tubular Bells. Also in that year, Aladdin Sane hit #1, and the Wailers visited the UK for the first time. In the classic ad that they show, it is Brian Clough in an advert for Radio Mobile. Derby County manager Brian Clough, who will one day smash Vinnie Jones's Ghetto Blaster, suggests a tape deck for your Morris Marina. Nice. Honestly, Mojo's making me want to steal some of these outfits. Yeah, amazing. Hey, Mark Kenosis. It may or may not have been for the best. I haven't done the crossword yet, but I may do that. New Socialist may rehabilitate Weller, but I'm not having it, says Mark Kenosis. And on the back page, in Hello Goodbye, it's another Weller theme page with Mick Talbot writing about when he left the Style Council. Right, so that was Mojo. Give me your ratings for that. For me, it's a 6 or 7 out of 10. Content is good, but it needs to up its design game. Mark Kenosis, bloke on my course did the lights for one of those Whalers shows. Apparently the best thing he'd ever seen. That is awesome. And of course on the back, the advert is for the new Ultimate Collection Deluxe box set reissue of John Lennon Plastic Ono Band. Really, you don't need that many versions of the songs from that album. Red Tick Seed gives Mojo a fairly solid 6 out of 10. A solid 7 from Dan Jones, 3142. A 6 from Tara Wrights, loved the photos, but very dadcore. Yeah, it is dadcore. And a 6 from Mr. Gump. Okay. We've got a 3-paper day today. I did get the Mirror as well today, and if you want to see The cover of the Mirror's the breakdown of the cover of the Mirror. Just head to my Twitter and go to the media tweets. But I want to do magazine specials today, so I didn't want to cover 4 papers. And sad to say, as ever, the Mirror is really boring. So that's a problem. There we go. So we're starting with the Sun, which goes with a terrible Line of Duty themed scooplet from Harry Cole. PM hits back over Cummings' slur fibs. Fibs is such an English word, I hate it. Lying of duty, not a great headline. And Cole writes, Boris Johnson hit back at Dominic Cummings last night, branding leaks claiming the PM made a sick slur over the COVID crisis as lies. In a plot worthy of Line of Duty, it really isn't. The former aide's insistence that he had been cleared of being the chatty rat was also dismissed. I mean, dismissed, it wasn't dismissed as such, it was just that Simon Case, in his testimony to the select committee, said, I won't say who's been cleared or hasn't been cleared. Fibs is such a kid word. Who's buying Mojo except mod dads anyway? Well, there are plenty of mod dads. It sells all right. It sells all right. It's still going. Mark Canosis has missed it, but I see it had Funkadelic and MBV, so that gets a thumbs up. Yes, and the picture, and then there was a great picture of Funkadelic with a donkey. Feedbacker gives it mod dad 5 out of 10. Yeah, Terror writes, agreed, the headline is dog shit. Elsewhere on that page, they've got they're being weird about Zendaya with the headline Perfect Zen at the Oscars, and they've got a shitty competition where you can buy where you can win the high street equivalent of the Boris and Carrie's items that they bought in the flat makeover. Chatty rat is such a weird phrase, studying fangirl. Dan Jones 3142, not dissing Mojo, respect the mod dad community. On page 3, that isn't page 3 but is page 3, model Sarah Sampaio, who she embraces her wild side after flexing her muscles. The Portuguese beauty, 29, beamed in an animal print bikini. She also showed off her biceps on Instagram. Should I drop my workout routine, she asked. Also on page 3, £8 million hole in pocket for Phil, Ant and Dec. Telly stars Ant and Dec and Philip Schofield will lose £8 million after a villa resort went bust. A court has ruled the trio will not get any, get ready for a really annoying Sun word, compo. They can't write compensation. They love to say compo, and I fucking hate it. I don't know why it really bothers me, but it do. Slinkermeyer, I would love to see a gender flip page 3 that isn't page 3. Me too. 1.3 million, it's Yeezy. A pair of trainers worn by Kanye West have sold for auction at 1.3 million pounds. The shoes worn by the rapper at the 2008 Grammys are the most expensive pair ever. And they're ugly as fuck, mate. They're actually not very nice. The size 12 black leather Nike Air Yeezy 1 prototype. I know it makes me an old man, but those, every time he brings out a Yeezy shoe, I just think, these look fucking shit. There's only one thing I'm interested in, catching bent chatters. They continue the awful attempts to connect this to Line of Duty. Kanye West is the product of MK Ultra gone rogue, says Comrade Wolfie. Mark Canosis imagines those shoes were bought by a pervert. Feedbacker says, I used to love Yeezys, but they have gotten fucking ugly over the years. Yeah, so look, you can win Boris and Carrie's flat makeover, but except the high street versions of them. So to the value of £569.98. Like, another really annoying, just pathetically Sun thing is that they've made up the suspects in the Chatty Rat case with rat ears and noses. I mean, this is apparently a serious newspaper. Rita Ora is now dating Taika Waititi, so the headline is Taika Me Out Rita. Johnny Mercer flew to Belfast. Unfortunately, he's come back. finally, they get around to talking about Daniel Kaluuya, and they go with the headline, "Mum and Dad had sex, so I'm here." His speech that was one joke in his speech. They could have gone with the better angle about the black radicals and campaigners that he called, that he paid tribute to in his speech. But no, we get that instead. No big coverage for Chloe Zhao in here. Of course, the inevitable Oscar fashion spread. And Gucci Coup is the headline they give to the fact that Emerald Fennell is pregnant, so she was wearing a dress that suited that and was wearing trainers. Trevor Kavanagh says, actions speak louder than words. PM didn't let the bodies pile high, and he did save lives. We've had... How many deaths have we had? 150,000 deaths? 100-something thousand deaths? Devs? How many deaths have we had? Like 100 and...
Coronavirus?
Yeah. 127 times. So, yeah, I say that's letting the bodies pile up. On page 13, gun and knife onslaught at college is the way they talk about a man with a handgun opening fire at a college in West Sussex. They say a hero teacher was stabbed yesterday after a rugby tackled a masked gunman who opened fire at the college. Typically sensitive reporting by The Sun. Yeah, we've seen the bodies. Exactly. 127,000 excludes the 30,000 they wiped from the numbers 6 months ago. Yeah, so, at a minimum. Cuddly Adrian Childs writes, glorious sounds of fans falling back in love with footy. I failed to deliver again. A big reason I wanted to be in newspapers was my paper round as a kid. I loved the smell, etc., etc. He's talking about pies. He's talking about Line of Duty. And he's talking about the Postal Service injustice. As usual, he's confused by the world. He said, I read with approval about crisp sandwiches being a massive guilty pleasure. So true, so very true. Being a keen cook and food lover with ideas above his station, I'm ashamed to admit I hadn't sunk my teeth into a crisp sandwich for many a long year. Jesus. If you have a great love of newspapers and end up working for The Sun, then you failed. Sorry, accurate feedbacker. Dan Jones, 3142, Britain's most credible journalist. Hang on. Mr. Gump, love the idea that The Sun smells of newspapers and not a mountain of cocaine. Yeah, definitely, maybe. So yet again, it's a thing about who is H in Line of Duty. Every day this week we're getting this. Wish Charles had Boris Johnson's career trajectory instead. That chip sandwich pro is very awkward. Chris Sandwich pro is very awkward, yeah. On page 19, Love Island's Maura Higgins is a fashion oasis modelling in Dubai. Whatever. And COVID heroes set for Island show. Apparently a heroic junior doctor who worked 70-hour weeks on the COVID front line is set to star in this year's Love Island. Okay. Fine. He's, as you'd expect, very good looking. H is H from Steps. I would love it. I would love it if it was Ian H. Watkins. Did Quarry Lorry flick up the rock that killed paramedic? Who knows? But I think probably The Sun shouldn't be the ones trying to do the investigation. Absolutely appalling reporting of a man who set fire to his girlfriend's home while she was at hospital looking after her ill daughter. They headline it Jealous Ex Arson. Stop doing these things where you frame violent men as having an excuse for their violence. On page 22 and 23, Telly Beauty reveals fresh new look after a difficult year. Vicky Patterson has gone blonde. Okay, fine. I couldn't care less. Trying to get you free tickets to go to Legoland. Good picture of some zebras with the headline, "Don't stripe cast me." We've been living a dream in Benidorm. Now we have €20 left and use food banks. Expats tell how pandemic has destroyed resort and livelihoods. I'm unfortunate for them. Mr. Gump, a bit of a tangent, but I've only just realised how Piers Morgan, Charles Moore and Andrew Neil all look like the same person. Yeah, that's why I put them together. Mr. Gump, I thought Love Island had to be pulled on account of all the dead people. No, it's coming back. Modelling in Dubai equals high-level prostitution, says Comrade Wolfie. Allegedly, I'd say no. I'd say it's probably just doing photo shoots for Boohoo. Comrade Wolfie. Lol, get fucked, expats. He says that as an expat. In today's TV recommendations, Dream Kitchens and Bathrooms, Channel 5, 7 p.m. Fucking hell. What? The Syndicate's back on BBC One at 9 p.m. On assignment, 10:45 ITV. Raggy Omar looks at Marley's historic links to horse. Historic links to horse? What, the drug or the animal? And Lucy Watson goes to Bosnia to meet a survivor of the Srebrenica genocide. Well, that sounds like it'll be a lot of laughs. Britain's Next Jewellery Star is back as well. BBC 2, 8 p.m. I do like Catherine Ryan, but I've not watched any of that show. No, there was not a comma in Dream Kitchens and Bathrooms. In Fab Daily, indoor entertaining is almost back. Get your pad ready for guests. No, fuck off. They can just take it as they find it. Then there's a thing, a diet, a fitness regime. Amber from Love Island shares the fitness routine that helped her lose more than a stone in 6 weeks. Okay, stop. The tabloids encourage eating disorders at every turn. The £50 letter in the Sun today comes from David Evans, who says, "It was great to have 8,000 fans at Wembley Stadium for the League Cup final between Manchester City and Tottenham. The sight of fans heading down Wembley Way on a sunny afternoon for a major domestic cup final was something to behold. The sports trials are gathering momentum with bigger turnouts each time. These are positive steps to prepare for normal in a few months' time." Guarantee that was written by someone in the office. So bland. Ronald Devine of Dereham, Norfolk says, "The United Kingdom is one of the most enduring and successful unions in history, bringing prosperity, peace and well-being to all its nations. We love Scotland and are safer together. Why divorce when it's going well?" I think the Scots disagree, mate. And another one from Norfolk, Phil Hind, says, "The government should make it compulsory for people to have a vaccine passport before they can go to concerts, other large gatherings or travel abroad. They should contain a special marker to prove they are genuine so they cannot be forged." Jesus fucking Christ. And Sandra Queen of Arlo, Essex says, "At long last, normality is on the horizon. Watching the League Cup final on television will have built up the hopes of many. With COVID deaths rapidly decreasing as vaccinations rise, we can at least feel a sense of positivity regarding the future." You're reading The Sun, there is no positivity there. The UK is a much worse union than the Soviet Union, says Comrade Wolfie. Teo writes, says, "Fuck Harlow." Slinkermeyer Moore, "Show me your papers." Bullshit. Agreed. They're trying to sell you funeral protection. Tells you the average age of a Sun reader. A new lawnmower and say the line, coins. Yes, today's coin for just $34.95 is the Battle of Trafalgar silver commemorative coin.
Don't you fucking dare.
Was $69.95, now only $34.95.
Don't you fucking
It's only $34.95.
dare. No.
Coins.
No coin.
Coins,
No
coins, 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 coins. I don't intend to buy any more coins. I've got the one, and they're coming, and I'm followed around the internet now by ads for coins.
So am I.
I know our IP address has been marked as a coin-loving IP address. And in the Person in the room desperately wants more coins, says Red Tixie. I know, she's just in denial.
No coins.
What I'm hearing is the word coins. And in the sport, Pop Guns. Trio join Music Mogul Power Play, but Stan Kroenke vows not to sell. This is the claim that Daniel Ek from Spotify will try and buy Arsenal. Mr. Gump, Mick, yesterday on stream I made a firework display on Planet Coaster that spelled out the word coins. Amazing. Love that. Dan Jones, 3142. They can charge whatever they want for the coins. Right, that's the Sun. That is the Sun. Give me your ratings for the Sun. For me, it's a minus 69, 69, 69. Mercutio, how much to make Mick review Coin Collector magazine? Well, if you put the price of the of Coin Collector magazine into the newspaper fund, that can be done. Comrade Wolfie gives the Sun AC12 out of 10. Slinkermeyer gives it the triple negative. Nice. Yeah, Mr. Gump, is this on VOD? Can I witness this coin display? Right. I'm moving on to... we've got, 10 minutes left on the stream, really, but it probably goes slightly over. So I'm going to quickly do the times. We'll just do the key exciting stuff in it. And then we will do the Daily Mail, of course. Corey Wolfie, I hope the Coin Collector magazine has a page 3 like the Sun, but it's about saucy coins. Mr. Gump gives the Sun at minus 420.69. Terror writes in with a minus 10,000. Dan Jones, 3142, minus 39.95 out of 10. Right, front page of the Times. Glamour is back. What we learnt from the Oscars? Nothing is the answer. Duke set up firm with disgraced financier. The Duke of York has gone into business with a former Coots banker who quit in disgrace over allegations of sexual harassment. Well, you know, setting up a company with an alleged sexual harasser is actually mildly better than holidaying and using the homes of a convicted sex offender and sex trafficker as an alternative to Airbnb. So it's really a step up, if anything. Prince Andrew is becoming more proprietous as time goes on. The Virgin Oscars versus the Chad Can, says Red Tickseed. Main story, Johnson said he would let COVID rip in lockdown row. I mean, I think we know he definitely said that. He said worse in public. Inside, Oscar's darling who broke the mold. That's a report on Chloe Zhao and how she was already challenging the status quo as a teenager at a British boarding school. She boarded at Brighton College in East Sussex. On page 5, very sad and traumatizing story, really. Ian Wright reveals stepfather's violence. Ian Wright, the former England and Arsenal striker, has revealed that the BBC show's soundtrack, the soundtrack to Match of the Day, awakens memories of the Guantanamo Bay-style abuse he suffered at the hands of his violent stepfather. Wright opens up about his traumatic childhood and his struggle to cope with its legacy in Home Truths, a BBC documentary about domestic violence. Well, you know, solidarity with Ian Wright there. Duke's firm not required to file public accounts. Funny that, isn't it? That's more on Prince Andrew. Doctors use cancer's DNA to tailor new treatments. That's a very good thing. Top civil servant want to examine flat revamp as pressure on PM grows. Check out today's newsletter, brokenbottleboy.substack.com, for more on why none of this is really actually going to affect Boris Johnson. It's all a circus, to be honest. Nazanin used as bargaining chip with new jail sentence. And then again, this is a consequence of us allowing a clown like Boris Johnson into a major public office. His behaviour as Foreign Secretary had a central role in continuing the imprisonment of Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe in Iran, and he should go to his grave ashamed of that. But unfortunately, he, like Prince Andrew, who was medically incapable of sweating, so he says, is medically incapable of experiencing shame. Exactly, Slinkermeyer, he is not under any pressure. Crash test hedgehogs make safer mowers. A hedgehog crash test dummy is being developed after a study found that they can be killed or injured by robotic lawn mowers. Okay, good. Protect the hedgehog. Johnson, we're on track to lift all restrictions by June. That was an attempt to distract people from the scandals. Hasn't really worked. Paratroopers had no reason to shoot IRA boss, trial told. 2 former paratroopers had no legal justification for shooting an unarmed Irish Republican leader in the back in Belfast 50 years ago. The fact that they call him an IRA boss is a distortion as well. They allegedly killed Joe McCann while he lay dying on the ground, despite the official IRA militant saying, "You got me cold, I've no weapon." I believe he was not very old. What was his? They don't include his age here. Yeah, Joe McCann's family, including his wife, daughter, and son, were already in court before Johnny Mercer turned up. The family told the Times, "We consider this day as a victory of sort. This was a trial they said would never happen." The family again criticised the judicial ruling that both soldiers could not be identified throughout the trial. In their statement, they said anonymity in this case had set a precedent for state censorship in any theatre of war that involves the British government anywhere in the world. Yeah. IRA boss deliberately trying to make him sound like a mob boss. Yeah. Mark Canosis, I love that way of describing hedgehogs. Hedge lads. Yeah. Comrade Wolfie, I for one hope Boris Johnson goes to his grave earlier than expected in a Minecraft simulation. Exactly. Devon in the detail of a Cornish cream tea. Sainsbury's has promised to change a picture in one of its Cornish stores because it showed the wrong sort of tea. The image at the branch in Truro depicted a fruit scone, itself an error for purists who say that it must be a plain Cornish split, with clotted cream on the bottom and jam uppermost. The done thing in Cornwall is to put the jam on first, while in Devon they start with the cream. What are we? We're a pro...
Jam first.
Jam first, of course.
Cornish. Jam first.
Because it makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, incredible.
You get more cream on that one.
Yeah, I thought so. He was killed just 25. So hardly an IRA, boss. 25 years old. Unarmed and 25 years old. Yes. Just fucking hell. Ballet dancer used massages as an excuse to assault students is the claim. Yan Seng Chan, 51, used his position as principal dancer for the English National Ballet to abuse 4 teenage girls, a jury at Isleworth Crown Court heard yesterday. The celebrated Cuban dancer had a dark side and demonstrated a pattern of offending. I hate the way they always lead with the achievements of these men. Why would you want to spread jam on top of cream? Absolute carnage. Agree with you, Dan Jones. Sleaze returns to haunt the Conservatives. Says William Hague. Yeah, well. Cornwall's one of the poorest regions in Europe, and this is the shit that gets people upset. Red Tickseed, I do the cream then jam because I'm not a monarchist. Right, okay. This discourse is going to get dangerous. Guybrush tweet good. Cornwall is good, cool and good. We just simply need to ban and seize Londoners' second-hand homes. Yep. All behind that. Melanie Phillips, of course, Anders Breivik's favourite. Anders Breivik's famous... favourite columnist, writes, "Family history shapes us more than we know. Giles Fraser's account of his Jewish ancestry explains his open-mindedness and fearless honesty." Are we still talking about the same fucking Giles Fraser? I don't think so. And on to another dickhead, Giles. Giles Corran managed to lose his wallet, get his wallet stolen, and someone tried to buy cigarettes with it, and he's got a column out of that, and it's fucking tedious. Matt Hastings says, "There are no good choices in the hunt for terrorists. The true story behind the Mauritanian shows the dilemma we face pursuing non-state enemies who may be a lethal threat." It's an excuse for... it's a man making excuses for torture. In the world news, generals in France have called for military rule to halt French decline. This is Islamophobic generals wanting to basically have an armed putsch in France. Elsewhere, Kremlin forces Navalny's party to close its doors, and a leak in Iran reveals bitter division in Tehran leadership. At least that's the claim. They write a whole long thing about this weird rebranding of Standard Life Aberdeen without its vowels or Standard Life, so it's now just Aberdeen, A-B-R-D-N. Napoleons are still knocking about. Bring them back. Navalny's going to be dead soon. Yep, I'd say that's likely. Graham Ruddock in the business commentary says Tate's sell-off could leave a bitter taste. The owner of Poundland is going to float in Warsaw rather than in London. Pepco, which trades under that name and deals in Europe, said it previously that it was considering stock exchanges in Britain and Poland. Another product of Brexit, really. Crime goes cashless as pandemic drives underworld online. I think they were already there ahead of this, lads. In the obits, Christina Ludwig, creamy-voiced mezzo-soprano known for her peerless accounts of Winterreise and frank discussions of the menopause. Good on her. Albert Elbaz, also in the obits, self-effacing fashion designer whose modern take on the cocktail dress revived the House of Lanvin. He is an Israeli-born fashion designer, born 1961, died of COVID-19 in 2021, April 24th. He was just 59. In the sports, don't ruin crown jewel. Chelsea head coach Tuchel says UEFA risks killing Champions League and burning out players. Legends back bid by Spotify. 3 of Arsenal's famed Invincibles have given their backing to possible takeover of Arsenal by the co-founder of Spotify, though the owners insist the club is not for sale. You shouldn't have that much fucking money. See you, Slinker. Have a good afternoon. Good to see you. Bye for now. Give me your scores for the Times. And finally, we reach the Daily Mail, which we will rocket through at a remarkable pace. Just going to cover the things we always do in there. So the on this day column, some other stuff. Right, front page. Our dazzling new Oscar young ones, and oh how different their life stories are. Racialized shit, really, comparing Daniel Kaluuya with what's her face? Is her name Emerald Fennell? Yeah, Emerald Fennell. Main headline: Boris on the ropes. Daily Mail, pleased with itself. On page 3 of the paper, end of the line. Fans fear police thriller may not return as H is named in finale. PM, no, I didn't make bodies remark, BBC and ITV, but we have sources who say the Mail story is right. They note that Michael Gove's denial was unconvincing. They have a list of the rules that Boris Johnson may have broken in the so-called wallpaper gate. Stephen Glover says why falling out with a psychopath may prove the PM's most costly mistake. Remember, Stephen Glover is the most zombie-looking motherfucker in British newspapers. That's bullshit, Boris. Text that put Dom in clear. As top civil servant says chatty rat may never be found. Boris Johnson texted Dominic Cummings to say allegations that he was the chatty rat who revealed details of the second lockdown were bullshit, it was claimed last night. Brits blitz the Oscars. They compare Daniel Kaluuya, the council flat boy who left mum blushing, with the posh girl's slog to justify her privilege. Fuck off. Now that's red carpet. Various people wearing red dresses at the Oscars. NHS sleepwalking into cancer crisis. As Wales and Scotland relax curbs, grieving daughter who had just 20 mourners at mum's funeral laments they'd have filled the church twice with standing room only. Spectator political editor James Forsyth, focusing on COVID in Russia, remains mute on the ongoing Allegra Cummings-Boris Carrie Farrago. Married to Boris's sideline press secretary, Allegra Scranton, James would surely share with readers how his missus was bounced out of the £2.6 million media suite before she cleared her throat for her first breathing. And what of Mrs. Cummings? That's Mary Wakefield pictured, the magazine's commissioning editor. Lots to discuss, but not in the specky. That's the Daily Mail in the Ephraim Hardcastle column, really getting its nails out. Normally leave that to me. Dragged to court after 49 years for shooting this IRA terrorist. Again, this is Joe McCann. He was 25 when he was killed. They list his crimes, as they put it. And there's a picture of Johnny Mercer doing a thumbs up outside the court. This 91-year-old bride, the man she married in secret, and a wedding that beggars belief. Joan had dementia and couldn't even remember the groom's name, but as her despairing daughter tells, that didn't stop a very disturbing union. That's an unsettling story, if ever. Student becomes youngest Mastermind champ at 24. Mastermind crowned its youngest winner last night. Jonathan Gibson, 24, scored full marks in his specialist subjects and comedy duo Flanders and Swan, and 17 out of 20 in the general knowledge. The PhD student from Glasgow, who won on host John Humphrey's final show, said, "I absolutely want this victory to inspire quizzers of my age and younger." Well, good on him. Lol, Mick, someone at the Mail is reading your newsletter, says Taya writes. Yeah, pretty much. Mark Gnosis. Well, yeah, nerd. I was nerd. I was on Mastermind. I did decently well, but I did not. I lost out by 1 point in my episode from winning it. April 27th, 2021, on this day, from Daily Mail Archive, April 27th, 1953, Britain prints more books than any other country in the world, the Daily Mail wrote. A report by UNESCO today states, in 1950, Britain's publishers printed 17,072 books, the US 11,022, and France the year before published 9,993. On this day, April 27th, 1976, the Daily Mail wrote, Sid James, craggy-faced star of the Carry On films, died last night after collapsing on stage at the Empire Theatre in Sunderland with a heart attack. His wife Valerie rushed on and cradled the 62-year-old comedian's head in her arms as he lay dying. Sid had been one of Britain's best-known comedians since he co-starred with Tony Hancock in the radio series of Hancock's Half Hour. Happy birthday to Dame Darcy Bustle, 52, and to Anna Chancellor, the actress, 56. Also born on this day, Nikki van der Zyl, the Berlin-born RADA-trained actress, voiced the Bond girls Honey Rider and Jill Masterson, played by Ursula Andress in Dr. No and Shelley Eaton in Goldfinger. She said proudly, "I was the first girl ever to speak in a Bond film," and titled her memoir For Your Ears Only. Also born on this day, but in 1922, Sheila Scott, the actress turned aviator from Worcestershire, flew 3 times solo around the world, one of which was the longest solo flight, 31,000 miles, ever made in a single-engine aircraft. Scott acquired more than 100 World Light Aircraft class records and flew barefoot so that she could better feel the vibrations on her plane. On April 27th in 1968, the Abortion Act came into force, legalizing terminations by a registered practitioner under certain conditions. And in 2020, on this day, Boris Johnson returned to work after being in hospital with COVID-19. Quote of the day, "Name the greatest of all the inventors." Accident. That comes from Mark Twain, the US author. And the joke of the day, have you heard about the restaurant on the moon? It's got great food, but absolutely no atmosphere. Person in the room was on University Challenge and did very well. That is correct. She was, and she did.
Did very well.
She doesn't think she did well. I thought she did well.
We were shit.
No, but you did great. You were great. Mark Kenosis, I've seen your Mastermind. I got 1 more point than you on the full questions. Yeah, I got one wrong I shouldn't have got wrong. And also, it's a lot harder when you sit in the chair. So, yeah. Moving on. Let's get... hooked on the anxiety pills, experts are calling the new Valium. What pill even was this? Pregabalin. So there you go. I had a mole removed out of vanity, only to be told I had rare blood cancer. Jesus Christ. Good health is one of the most depressing sections in any newspaper. Should you ignore the food traffic lights? I don't know. Maybe. Tiny miracles saved by surgery in the womb. They advertise various scooters for old people. An air purifier. Christopher Stevens in the TV review says Viewpoint was a 2-star show, but Starstruck was 4 stars. I've seen a couple of episodes of Starstruck. I think it's good. It's quite funny. Pregabalin ain't the new Valium, says Mark Kenosis. Red Tick Seed was being polite about University Challenge. Okay, well. Yeah, they just weren't quick enough on the buzzer, to be honest. That was the issue, wasn't it, really? In Garfield is sleeping. In Chloe and Co, Chloe and her friend are drinking and talking about men. And in Fred Bassett, Jock, Taffy and Yorkie are swimming across the river while Fred looks on indulgently. In the letters, there's a Ballymena letter, isn't there? Yeah. I think you're going to come read that, weren't you? Yeah. Okay. Person in the room is guesting on the letter here. See you, Mr. Grump. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. After reading the letters regarding the letter, I wholeheartedly agree with them. I would also be ashamed to bring a friend to my town to see how run down it has become. I live near a Tesco supermarket, and the amount of litter thrown away, tins, crisps, packets, beer bottles, receipts and sandwich packaging has to be seen to be believed. Last year I got in touch with the relevant council department and requested a minimum of 2 litter bins near the store. I was informed that they would have to carry out a survey first, and these councillors have just awarded themselves a 3% pay rise. Hey.
Are you implying that people from Ballymena are a bit slow?
Just the accent.
Yeah.
But also, yes, the people from Ballymena.
Okay, elsewhere, Janet Prince writes, never mind COVID passports, I would rather people who take foreign holidays sign a pledge not to moan about the next lockdown when they bring new strains home with them. Fucking hell. Chris Warden says, lay off the criticism, Sir Keir. We're all very proud of the way Boris Johnson cut through red tape to order the ventilators urgently required at the start of the pandemic. Oh, fuck off. Mrs. G. Matthews writes, yet another young woman thinks that putting naked photos of herself in the media is the best way to reinforce the idea that she's a serious musician. It's been called empowering. Yeah, right. Oh, fuck off. Fred Scoot of Norfolk says, so some eco-warriors destroy £160,000 worth of windows at HSBC's HQ. Have they no concept of the amount of energy that will go into making the replacement panes of glass? That's irony. It's not irony. Shut up. Tim Mickleborough of Grimsby says, we should do as they did during the war, put the clocks forward again so we can have light nights. It would help our pubs and restaurants make the most of outdoor trade. Brian Best of Hazelmere says, has everyone had their 3 level teaspoons of milk today? Or is it heaped? Oh, fucking hell. And June Esty of Chattleworth says, complaints about the National Trust including unisex toilets? Every home has one. It's not a problem. Quite sensible there. Ian Paisley was from Ballymena, right? That's why it stinks. No potpourri. No potpourri. Nice. No potpourri. That's really more of a spoken joke. I do like that. Yeah. No potpourri. Can you do an Ian Paisley? Never. It's pretty good. Today's recipe is giant couscous and tomato salad. How giant is this couscous? That's the question. They're trying to sell you a brand new and exclusive ultimate New York Christmas experience for 2022. No, thank you. They're trying to sell you tomato plants. No, thank you. But as we near the end of this show, say the line. It's coins. World's first gold coin of 2017 has new significance, but fewer than 1 in every 6,000 UK households can own one. The double portrait sovereign, the only one of its kind. Why has it got new significance? Because it had Prince Philip pictured on it. Available to... They were just trying to get rid of these. Available now for £799. Coins. And in the... also, you can get some Genos, which are a cross between chinos and jeans. Available in azure, Nantucket, sand, ocean, and toffee. Pictured there, the Nantucket Genos. Yeah, Conrad Wolfie, that one coin, double your rent. That one coin is about is the equivalent of 2/3 of our monthly rent. And on the back page, Arsenal coup. Spotify boss in 1.8 billion bid to buy club of Kroenke. Legends Bergkamp, Vieira and Henry to join him in consortium. So there you go. That was the Daily Mail. A poor show as ever. A quadruple minus negative nice. Hey SK, you caught us just as we're coming to an end. Prince Philip coin. And what we said double. What's the Prince Philip coin I'm waiting for, right? I've ordered the Prince Philip coin, but it can take 15 weeks to arrive. So get Fred Bassett and a pair of Genos. You missed several coins today. It was a heavy coin day. And you also missed a review of Mojo and some other stuff. But tell us next time you are on. And tell us when you'll next be on stream or what we can expect from you next, SK, as I read the reviews. Mark Kenosis, a -98, loves a dry, comfy Fred. Mooo-jooo-kay, coins are a perfect example of the British scams-based economy that has no value as soon as someone looks at it. Several coins. Yeah, that's right, SK. It was a coin-heavy day. Tara writes, -790, a 0 from Red Tixie with a +1 for coins. Okay, I am, of course, a Broken Bottle Boy. You can follow me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy and on TikTok at Useless Conquest, where I will soon be posting those TikToks I keep promising to make. In the chat, Aiton, in the Mod Squad, SK the Crusader, just popping in to say hello near the end of the show. Good to see him whenever, of course. In the chat, Aiton, Carbot14XYZ, Commander Root, Community for small streamers, Comrade Wolfie, Discord for streamers, Arabs, Yu-Gi-Oh, Everybody Loves Raymondo, Feedbacker, Girly, Industrial Pet, Chronotherm, Mark Kenosis, Mooo-jooo-kay, valued subscriber Mooo-jooo-kay, I should say, Rec, Red Tixie, Studying Fangirl, Cider Streams, Torms, Taya Wright, Underpin, VNK, Virgo Pros, Yuan, Andy, Excellent, Zoe Brings Bacon. Thank you all for joining me today. Of course, we will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. with all the classic stuff. SK is back on Thursday from 6 p.m. playing Rome Total War, the remaster. I want to tune in for that one. And Yuan says the DM is fishy. Hi, Zoe. Cool. Yes. So back tomorrow with more papers, another magazine review, and with any luck, some coins. Have a good one.
No coins.